Hello, welcome to Animal Audit Corner. Today, you guessed it, I am in the kitchen and we're going to cook up spanakopita today. It's a Middle Eastern it can be used as appetizers when you fold them into squares, but you can also have it for dinner when you put it in a pan and use the whole sheet as is when you actually butter it up in the pan like I'm going to show you today. Now, you got all your aids from the Aftermath Foundation, named after Mike Rinder, and the SPTV Foundation. And you got your necessities, your apartment, your car, all that jazz. But guess what? The important resource you need is buying groceries. So you probably actually got food stamps too. But however, we're going to learn how to cook it today. So we're going to start off. Of course, it's going to be vegan in my case. Okay, it's going to be vegan spanakopita, or as you say it in Armenian, burdick. But of course, in the Middle East, they have different names for spanakopita and burdick. It's just not known as spanakopita. All of the Middle East, they have different names for this particular dish. Let me throw this away. Oh, of course, guess what? I'm going to also need a pan. Let me get that. All right, here it is. We're going to use a glass pan for that. So, you know what? I'll turn on the oven a little bit later since this is summer, and guess what? We do not want to get hot. There's a little bit more light in this side of the corner. So we'll put it like this. All right. All right, there we go. All right, and these are the shells, as you can tell. And yes, it's a little bit different. So, first, we're going to need 1 cup of butter. So, let me get my... All right, we got your butter knife, so we're going to take this out of here. I'm going to measure it, so it's 1 cup. So I don't get frugal that often because usually during the week I would have a salad, but if I feel like getting something, I would usually take my leftovers. But I cook every single weekend. But during the week, I'm with you. So got the 1 cup. Of course, I can't find the smallest saucepan, so I'm going to have to use this. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to dump this in here. I know this is not always good because butter is loaded with cholesterol, and of course, one of the ingredients in spanakopita is butter. Of course, this is the substitute version, but it still has cholesterol in it, so you can have it on occasions, but it still has cholesterol. All right. All right. Of course, as always, you have to get the butter off your cup because you don't want it to clog up your sink. You know, if it's a little bit, eventually in time, it's going to clog up your sink. So get almost, get out whatever you can get out. And remember the last time I said, do not use liquid plumber in your sink because it doesn't really help your sink. It just makes it worse. So I'm gonna clean this up. So remember what I told you. If the butter or anything in there clogging your sink, call the plumber. Don't use liquid plumber. So here we go. All right, we're gonna put this at the stove top and let it melt. Ooh. Okay, there. All right, now we are going to use a cup of vegan feta. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Oh no. Okay, so, all right. All right, so there it is. So, do as I say, not as I do, but here we go. Yeah, a little bit of the water from the feta came off, so. Now, usually, when you buy feta for the first time, we all are supposed to soak it in water so it would stay in its original form and won't be completely dry. Okay. Let's see. All right, here we go. I'm going to chop this up. Now, what is it made from? Let's see. Okay. It's made of coconut oil, potato starch, modified potato, sea salt. Yeah, I have no. I got those, but I definitely need my reading glasses, and they're in a room, but don't want to get it right now. So that's what the original is made from cow's milk. And since this is a vegetarian and trying to be a vegan kitchen, we are going to use plant-based. All right, now we're going to put the 1 cup in here. All right. All right. Let me get a spoon. All right. Now, the reason why we all, as animal rights activists, use plant-based food is to avoid having slaughtered animals on tables. And of course, we all know that David Miscavige has a steak dinner, of course, would be from a dead cat, a cow. And he also has indigent servants serve him. So that's just as rotten. So, and of course, as you know, have an indigent servant serve you and be your free labor is against the law. It's been law since 1866 when Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation law into office. And it still is going to be law on through today. But of course, guess what? Since Scientology, all the celebrities who are still in there are infiltrating the government so they can look the other way while they have these indigent servants work the free labor in those blue buildings and other residents that they live in. But however, they keep them held hostage. There's your 1 cup. So like I'm doing, David has people doing this, cooking for him. Wow, he's living like a king, like he's living in royalty. Now we're going to put the rest in this one. Yeah, there's just litter in there, so we're going to put that in there. Okay. Okay. All right. Ooh, boy. Oh, okay. So then, you know what? I'm going to rinse this off and wash it off since it's been in the... All right. And of course, you know, Tom Cruise also has free slave labor that his buddy David Miscavige would have, only he brought in that, and it's illegal for him to have slave labor in his household. Period. So that's why before he infiltrated the Clintons back when Clinton was in office. And of course it worked because guess what? Clinton had no idea what Scientology is doing, and they looked the other way. And guess what? It's happening with Trump too. Only guess what? Some people are looking at him like with rose-colored glasses. So, and plus I have to select my words because I think I might have made a breakthrough. I'm not going to say how, but here we go. And, oh, geez. Yeah. You do not want any Band-Aids landing in your food if you got guests coming over. You don't want that to happen because guess what's going to happen? You're going to find a Band-Aid and get grossed out, and that would do it for your dinner. Okay, now, you're going to add a couple of cups of plant-based cheddar cheese instead of using cow's milk. This here, particular one here is made from cashews. So, and I'm really into cashews, so. All right, here we go. There. All right. Okay, so this is, I'm going to toss this out, and it's not quite 1 cup yet. So I'm going to open up the other one, and yes, I do have enough to put it in. Yeah, that was making noises. I'm thinking, where is it coming from? It's coming from the stove. Butter's ready to go, but we're going to have to finish that. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, we're going to make it into spanakopita. We're going to use spinach in it. I forgot to mention. So, all right. And then we're also going to add parsley in it. Okay. All righty. Let me get the cheese. All right, there we go. We're going to open this up. Just put a little bit more in. Then it'll be a cup. Okay. All right. Second cup. We put that in. And we don't really need a spatula for this. Just take a regular spoon, mix it all around. Yeah, when I was growing up and my mother made this, she usually used Munster cheese, and she just loved it, and she always used Munster cheese in her recipes. So alrighty. Okay. And then when I start assembling this, then I will turn on my oven, because guess what? I didn't turn it on when I first started the show, because guess what? It's summer and I did not want it to get so hot. So I waited a bit. All right. Mix this up. This is what it's going to look like. Okay. You know what? I'm going to order something for the web for you guys that will show what I'm making. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to add a half a cup of parsley. Take this off. Okay, there we are. There is your parsley, a half a cup of parsley. So, oh, and it smells wonderful in this jar. If you were only here, it is so exciting. It just smells so great. Okay. All right. So we're going to stir this up. Nora and Nora's wife, sorry, I don't know her name. I'll just call her Nora's wife for now until she mentions her name. And if she mentioned her name, I wasn't listening, because guess what? Listening is not my strongest point. So whatever you guys say, I'll try and listen. So stir this up. Now, also, if you are seeking aid and need mental health services, it's going to be at the bottom of the link, that all the links down below. But right now it's not there. But when I edit it, it will be there for you to check out. Now, I'm not leaving you guys out if you weren't in a cult. If you absolutely need mental health care, then it's there for you too. So I'm definitely not leaving you out. Okay. This is what it looks like. All right. And now I'm going to put the spinach in, because spinach is full of iron, as you will know. So we're going to put it in. Okay. there we go. We have everything in there. And we're going to toss these. All right. Now I'll be cooking all day tomorrow. I'll be making vegan pancakes, and I'll also be making Armenian potato salad. So just hop in tomorrow and I'll cook it. So this is one of the resources you need to survive is to cook. Now, usually when you buy already packaged foods in the supermarket, they add extra ingredients in there. That's not so very good for you. And the government knows about it, according to John Poe. They banned it in other countries because some of the ingredients in there causes cancer. So look, Google whatever you see on your packaging and find out what's in there. I'm going to put this in here too. Stir it up. Okay, and now we're going to get out the phyllo dough. You're going to need, that's the main ingredient for your spanakopita or burdick. And of course, like I mentioned before, different parts of the Middle East would call it something different. There's really no right way of saying it. So okay, we're going to get it. All right. And of course, this is store-bought phyllo dough from Walmart, and it's the Great Value package. Now, this is a little bit cheaper than the original, so. And of course, the company that makes the Athens product probably made this. We just can't tell. So we're going to open it up. And of course, you know Nora Ames is Greek. So I think she knows this recipe very well. Usually, well, I think she would have it in squares. I'm not sure. But I guess her and her wife would have a party, and then her wife, I don't know whether she makes it by hand or buys it from the store. Who knows? I don't know. But yes, you know, Nora's Greek, like she mentioned. Yes, I was listening to that part. Okay. Alrighty. And of course, her ancestors from her father's side, of course, I guess, yeah, she mentioned that they're from, her ancestors are from Greece. She's there. All right, now I'm going to turn on the oven. All right. And this is what it looks like. It's a little bit smaller than it was back in the 80s and 70s. It was a little bit bigger than this. It was like maybe like an entire sheet. It's bigger than this. But nowadays, companies are just are into price gouging now and just cutting it half the cost on us and making it a little bit more. Not great. All right. We're going to bring this here. I'm going to have to put it on something because it's really hot. All right. We're going to put it on this. So here we go. Let me get the brush. Ooh. All right. Oops. Yeah, okay, all of it's out. All right, let's see here. All right. Or should I put it back to 300? No. All right. Have the temperature at 355. I guess usually they have it on 350, but I'm going to put it on 355. So then, oh, yeah, let me get my brush. And you know what? Since the summer is here, I'm not going to turn on the oven. I didn't turn on the oven until I got to this portion of the show because guess what? It's summer and it's hot. Yeah, although it was just raining a minute ago. But however, okay, here's the butter. Well, I don't want to spill it. I don't want to take any chances and spill anything on my laptop. So here we go. We're going to first put it in the bottom of the pan. The plant-based butter on the pan. All right. So we're going to brush it all the way through. Now, everybody, when you get on this page, tell everybody in the SPTV community to come on to my channel if you're on it a little while longer. Because nobody's coming on my show and Fluffer Squirrel doesn't want to add me to the directory for some odd reason. But yeah, and I am going to try to actually get some people on my show. I tried to get Miss Kim on my show, but for some reason, the part where I'm supposed to put her email address in did not take it. Yeah. It's awful when something like that happens, but just tell everybody in the SPTV community what happened. One day when I got hacked, I sent a clip over to one of the SPTV programs, but the person that wanted to do, I love her. She's great. I love her just as much as you do, but she didn't really bring it up on her show, so I had to let that go. So, and it's really too late to do anything now, but no, it'll be okay. But guess what? Monday, I am going to bring a show to you about the concentration camp in Scientology and the concentration camp back in 1915 when the Armenian genocide took place. And we are trying to get some of the Turkish community to admit that the Armenian genocide took place. I guess some of them are admitting it because guess what? We're not going to all be the same. So there is going to be Turks out there that will say that the Armenian genocide will take place. Not every single person's going to be the same. So I'm confident some Turk out there is going to say, yes, the Armenian genocide did take place. We're not going to all be the same. So I'm confident because guess what? I'm part Turkish because my family was down there and they were born in Turkey. My mother actually, as you know from the past, when I mentioned it, my mother is originally from Istanbul. So, okay. So then now we're going to put the butter on and we're going to brush it directly on to the phyllo dough. And then we're going to add 3 phyllo doughs on top of it and then continue on buttering after every 3. Okay. All right, there we go. It's all buttered up. Then we're going to put another 3 on top. Now, when I mentioned those things earlier, I wasn't trying to create an end of some kind because consciously, I don't think I was yelling at anyone because there's enough of yelling back and forth between the SP community that, you know what, these things happen. Unfortunately, it happened right in the middle of a stream. Is it necessary? No. Was it necessary to actually come out and tell everybody about how I feel? Maybe, possibly, I don't know. But that's the way I feel. I'm not trying to turn this into a reality show. That wasn't my intent. With me, I can't stand reality shows. Yeah. People airing their dirty laundry in public, I don't think it's so good. Just creates more problems. But guess what? Some of the channels are out there, and that's what draws in viewers for some odd reason. So, yeah, I wasn't trying to turn this into a reality show. That's the last thing I wanted. But it did. It happened to me. And do I feel badly about it? Yes, I do. But hopefully everybody in the SPTV community will hear me. All right. So here we go. We're going to put the plant-based butter in. Because I do support the SPTV community, and I do have something to offer, and it's usually at the bottom of my links, below with the rest of the links that I have for mental health care and primary doctors. That, yeah, I mean, my page has something to offer, but yeah, for some reason, yeah, nobody wants to acknowledge that in the SPTV network. It's sad, but what can you do? And that's what I'm offering everybody. Hopefully, somebody hears it. And have I watched every single show? Yeah, I try, but at the same time, I'm understanding because I know there are several shows, but and yes, I did try to go to the SPTV space and tried to tell Buffer Squirrel, but no, she's not putting me on her network. So on the SPTV space, but what can you do? I'm not going to yell at her because it's not going to help. Okay. All right, we're going to put 3 more in there. And you keep adding the 3 and then butter it up. Add the 3 and then butter it up. Okay. And this is going to be like a lasagna form. Like you symbol it like it was a lasagna, only this is not lasagna. It's totally different from lasagna. It's spanakopita or burdick. Now, there's no right way of saying this. If you're from the Middle East and you make this and you call it something different, that is great. So, okay, 1 more. Hopefully I put 3 in there and not 4. Okay, there. All righty. All righty. Now we're going to butter it up. And yeah, you know, some of your fans are out there, but because I know you keep saying hi to me, but you're not on my show either, but that's okay. I'm not going to yell at you because it doesn't help. Okay. All righty. All right. And then after you're done, and if it hardens, you're going to toss it in the trash, not the sink because it'll clog it up just as much as the animal fiddle faddle. But you know what? Yeah. So then you put 3 more. This is live, as you know. Assemble it. If it's too dark, I apologize. I just don't have my light on, and I actually have more room here for the stuff that I need to make for the spanakopita. That's 2. This is going to be 3. Now, but you know what? It won't matter because I love everybody that's trapped in those blue buildings. And I do want to put the awareness out there. And I am having a lot of fun doing it. So I'm not sulking that much that I leave. That's not what I want to do. I still want to be here to help, even though I can't provide aid of any kind because I don't got the money to do that. But I do have something to offer, and there are links at the bottom of the pages. Okay. And I did hear for somebody saying that his parents, him and his family, I guess it's a young teenage boy or girl, whatever. And he or she said that he or she is not doing very well. And she has the symptoms of mental illness. And I told her to go to him or her to go to a safe place and go to the go to the link down below. I'm not going to name any names because guess what? I don't want Scientology looking for that person either. So, all right. Okay. All right. There's 3 in there. So it's time to put these in. Butter it up. And we are 48 minutes into my video. Usually, during the week, my video is somewhere between 25 to 30 minutes. Sometimes it goes a little over that. So, okay. All right, there we go. This is all 3 of the, this is the last 3, and I did count it. Okay. So if you get on, I hope you hear my message. Then get it to the other members of the community. But however, Scientology up north and Dusty Water Fountain, Dusty Soda Fountain, I hope I said that, acknowledged me. I hear that. And maybe I should invite those guys onto my show and we'll talk. They're going to say that they're not doing it on purpose. If they mention it, I am going to agree with it because I am in the United States and I have been going to Buffer Squirrel and giving her my sites, but she's not putting me on her site for some reason on the SPTV space. And everybody's enjoying getting into one room rate, and I want to be a part of it, but it's okay. But yeah, the reason why I'm still here is because I love everybody in the SPTV community, and I had a sort of information. And this is a message. And I did put an intro, but at the same time, I didn't want to mess up, and that's why you haven't saw an entry. And I'm a little fearful that I'm messing up, and I don't want to mess up. And yes, I know sometimes to succeed, you're gonna have to try and not be afraid of trying and take a risk. But yeah, but every protester out there is. All right, everybody, we're going to put this all into this. Yeah, it smells so good. And then tonight I'm going to put in another link, and I'm going to make the potato salad tomorrow evening. And of course, I am trying to cut back because guess what? Even though I'm vegetarian, trying to be a vegan, carbs found me. And it's the funniest thing. But you know what? I've got everything I need. I got a treadmill that I get on, and I do my walking. And of course, I love salads. That's why I'm not as big as a house, because I love salads and I love eating them. But do I put cheese on top of it? Not really. I don't really use it because I cut back on using cheese. I only use it when I'm cooking. but I'm not going to actually. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, the parsley smells so amazing. Usually I don't put it in, but that's one of the main ingredients, so I put it in. So it's half a cup of parsley. I mean, usually we use the fresh ones. The fresh ones I just leave in the refrigerator and it rots. I don't really use it right away. But yeah, so I bought the ones that are dried up. And all right. All righty. There we go. And now we're going to assemble the rest of the phyllo dough on top of this. So is this recyclable? Yes. Whenever you get a recyclable on the side of this, that means you recycle it. So I'll put it away later because I don't want to waste any time. So I'm going to open this up. And of course, it's the same process every 3. We butter, and then the next 3, we butter, and then the next 3. It just goes on. But at the same time, when you make spanakopita as a square, yeah, let me use this receipt. You fold it up like this. Only this is paper, so I'm giving you an example. You fold it up like this. Then you turn it up like this. All right. Then you fold it over like this. Now, this is an example that I'm giving you. And then you fold it over like this. And then fold it over like this. And then you got your appetizing version of spanakopita. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I used the receipt as an example. But you know what? Okay. So, yeah, today, this is my dinner, so I used the pan. So then, we're going to open this up. And then we are going to use this. All right, now we're going to put 3 on top. Okay, there's your 3. All right. And this is the other 3. Now, be careful when you handle it because it can tear easy. And the sheet is very thin. So remember that. Yeah, and when you fold the squares, you have to cut it in 3 strips when you make the squares, and then fold it the way I showed you. All right. All righty. All right, that's 3. Now, hopefully when I show about the Scientology labor camp and I talk about my family's history, when I have my relatives half my ancestors were in it and died. But you know what? I'm not going to give it away. So, so yeah, I'm going to talk about it when I get on my show. So if you get this message, please tell them to watch my show. Because am I feeling rotten about it? Well, yeah, a little bit. But at the same time, I am getting treated for bipolar. Only difference is it's not like Scott's system where he's just letting it spiral out of control and he's not seeing a mental health professional. I'm on medication and I'm having it treated. And of course, it's not spiraling out of control. All right. All right. Now, if you want to leave a comment, then go to the comments down below. And then leave your comments. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, and then brush this. Okay, brush this on. Then we're going to stick this in the oven, and you're going to cook it until it's golden brown. Ooh. Okay. All right, here we go. We add this in. Does my family know I have this show? No, they don't, because they got to take it away from me. And in case they do that, just let everybody know. All right. Okay. Here we go. Everybody is going to tell me nobody's doing it on purpose to hurt you. I would understand, but at the same time, I am on each and every comment, but when I give it, but nobody wants to acknowledge it. But you know what? It's okay. All right, there we go. There's another one. All right. All right, there we go. Yeah. Roommates is something I really want to join in on, but what can you do? I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's they did not like me telling them that they have the difference between La Cosa Nostra and Scientology wrong. If that's it, then you know what? I don't know what to tell you guys. in the in the channels that they describe. But if it's not that, thank you. But if it is, I'm not going to let you think that when it's not the case, because you're accidentally giving people wrong information. But however, I dug deeper than the person actually doing the research, because I don't think that person did the full research, because when you pay up to the boss has to share the money with everybody. The only difference is the soldiers gets very little of what they hand down, so they have to go out and perform more rackets to actually turn a profit. Not that I'm defending what they're doing, because it's illegal, but yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to tell you you're right when you're wrong. So, okay. Yeah. I just don't know what their situation is. Okay. But guess what? They're not saying it on purpose. I would get it mixed up like that too, to tell you the truth, because for a while I did. And if I didn't do the research and they happened to mention it, I would have agreed with it with myself. But no, that's not the way La Cosa Nostra runs. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, I don't know for what reason they don't want me to participate, but it's okay. Hopefully they'll get the message, and I'll be in those room raids because they look a lot of fun. Okay. All righty. Okay. We're almost there. And we're almost done. And it's been a full hour that I went on. Okay. Oh my gosh. Whew. Having the oven on is totally hot. But this is excellent for a dinner party or for a party appetizer. Yeah. I'm not going to start a fight with anyone, because guess what? There's already enough infighting. And it's not really worth it. So let's just stop the infighting. With me, I'm just going to say it as calmly as possible. I don't want to yell. That's the thing. But I'm being treated for that. And if I'm accidentally loud, usually I'm not aware of it. But at the same time, yeah, as soon as I get off, I will take my medication as needed. Oh my gosh. Hot. Yeah. And as of Scott is concerned, yeah, tell him to actually go get his symptoms treated, because one day he's going to hurt somebody, and then he's going to give Scientology something to talk about. You out there who's filming, tell him that. And you on the community goes into the chat, tell him that. Because if it's a Scientologist, they're going to give us something to talk about, and we can't let that happen. And if it's one of us, guess what? They're going to say it's theirs, but that would be a lie too. So, and plus he's killing the whole protest movement, even though he shouldn't even be in court. It's Scientology, the one that should be put on trial, not Scott. Okay, granted, he's letting his symptoms spiral out of control, but otherwise, they're doing all the wrong things, and they set him up to actually cause him to actually the illegal planters that wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place, because it's not ADA compliant. Should he have done that? No. Okay, granted. But at the same time, they set him up, and that's wrong. But, all right, let's see. All right. One more makes three. If I put more than that, sorry. All right. All right, and then we butter it up. Yeah. And of course, we do not want Scientology to keep their tax exempt status. So do your part. Go to the SPTV space and contact your local Congress. Now, a couple might be on hold for a bit to actually go in and get elected. So if it's pending, wait a bit, or if you want, you can give them the letter anyway. But if it's pending, then yes, there's nothing you can do about it until after the election. But anyways, now, all right. So the person, the congressman that's in the election here in Ohio is still pending, so I have to wait off on that. And plus, it's not just a Democratic or Republican issue, it's an everybody's issue. So we have to remember that. Okay. There we go. And then, all right. And these are the last three. Okay. Yeah. Do I have friends? Well, yes, but at the same time, I live like a hermit. I'm not really social. I should be, but I'm not. But yeah. And whatever friend I have, I hold them close to my heart. Usually I give this one person attention, which, okay, maybe it's not fair, but if I really, really love them, I do. I give them this one attention. Okay. And if you're part of the SPTV channels, all right, there we go. And then we're going to put more on top to end it. And then that'll do it. Yep. Oh boy. Flour on this thing. All righty. And that should do it. Okay. Now, do not pour this down the sink. It is still liquefied, but at the same time, don't pour it down the sink. All right. But you know what? Before you throw this in the oven, cut it first, because it's going to be hard to cut it when you're going to serve it, because it's going to fall apart. So, okay. So just fold it over like this. And make sure the edges are in when you cut it. All right, there we go. All right, there we are. All right, and we're done. And then now we're gonna cut it up. All right. Yeah, I never should have thrown the knife in the in the sink yet. Okay, now we're gonna cut it up like so it will be easier to serve, because the phyllo dough is really hard to cut when it's actually cooked, because the phyllo dough will fall apart. And of course, Samuel will actually tell people that, and he's going to agree. So, and you know he's the master chef. Okay. And his peanuts look so amazing. So, yeah, that's what I eat more of. I eat more nuts than anything. But oh my gosh, they look amazing. I wonder what he puts in it. Okay, everybody, tell me what he puts in it. Because at the link down below, if not, you can email me at compoundword2@gmail.com. All right. Okay. And have I gone to an SP protest yet? No, I haven't. Because I do not want to go alone. Because with those people, you know how dangerous they get. And then the celebrities who are in there saying we're dangerous, where in fact they're the ones who are dangerous and inflict harm. And they're making like they're the victims. So, all right, we cut it up. All righty. Okay. And I should go on Samuel's channel and see what he cooks. If he cooks it. Okay. All right. Yeah, one day I did have his channel, and then I was hacked in. And then everything was deleted, and of course we knew who did that. All right. Each and every clip I had was deleted, and we know who the cause of that was. Okay. Alrighty. All right. So now it's going to be easier to cut. Now it's going to be easier to serve once it's cut like this. Because if it's done and you want to cut it, it can fall apart fairly easy. So cut it in advance like I'm doing. All righty. Of course, they're not, mine's is not even, so make sure you have it even. And it should go, cut it in threes, going down. And then it'll be in fours once you get to this side. Okay. Alrighty. Oh my gosh, it's so sticky. It's so hot. So after I'm done with this, I'm getting hydrated by drinking my water. All right, and there we go. It is ready to go into the oven. And there we are. All right, now guess what, everybody? We're going to dump this into the trash. Yep, it's cold enough to dump it into the trash. So do, all right. And now we're going to wipe it off. Wipe everything off. Because we do not want anything to happen to the sink. So wipe everything off before throwing it into the sink. Because you don't want any clogs. All right. Okay, now it's wiped clean. So there are not going to be any clogs. All right. That should do it for today. And remember, hit the like and press subscribe. And I will see you again tomorrow morning, late morning. We're having brunch. I will be making vegan French toast. See you later.